So we had the bike on the dyno yesterday after I finished doing all my little things that I wanted to do to it. So there was a different exhaust, new intake module, different breather, and by breather I mean different intake, and then also some external breathers. And we managed to get from these little changes 10 horsepower and 10 torque. So the bike currently is 130 horse and 135 torque. Now that's out of a 117 motor with stock heads. Oh, not stock heads, the valve springs have been changed because of the 550 cam. I think I can squeeze a little bit more power out of this without doing any major work, so I'm going to be putting it on the dyno again just for another power run once I do a couple other little things. But let me tell you guys, this bike is an absolute animal to ride now, man. Oh, and I also put this Memphis shade on now. Last time that wasn't on here. That is a game changer. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to do another video on that a bit later and how much it's changed and all that. But let me tell you, the amount of wind that it actually blocks, I didn't even realize how much these things help. Like, there is no more wind resistance against my chest. So when I get to Muriwai, I'll show you guys what the bike looks like now and sort of what I've done to it. Show you guys the little changes. But yeah, man, this is an absolute weapon to ride. Freaking love it. The Trask exhaust that I've put on sounds similar to what the Vansenheim sounded like, but it just sounds a bit more throaty, a bit more deep than the Vansenheims. You guys might be able to tell through the sound in the video, but yeah, it sounds real nice exhaust. Still loud as shit though. At the idle it's quite tame, but as soon as you open up, man, this thing screams. Guys, I'll put up a picture real quick of the dyno sheets. So this is the dyno sheet of what we got from my old setup, which I had pretty much bought the bike like, and to what I have done and what we have gained. So yeah, as you can see, it's a decent increase in power, essentially just from changing a few little things, and the bike's a totally different bike now. I'm trying to drive sensibly with it, but it's so hard. It's so hard to drive sensibly with this, guys. When you got a bike with this much power and this much torque, oh, it's so fun. It's just... See, that was probably half throttle, guys, and it just went. That was half throttle. I also changed my mirrors. So if you look at this, I got the bronze collection mirrors to match my pegs. I reckon they look wicked. Now we're just still waiting for the grips to turn up. And then it'll be more intertwined with each other. These factory grips are rubbish, man. I mean, they do the job, but they're quite bad. Shout out to the brother Charlie, man. Charlie at Auckland Harley. Absolute legend, worked his magic, got me what I was after, and the bike runs like a treat, man. So smooth. Like, even though it's a high lift cam, it's so smooth. So yeah, man, shout out to the brother Charlie for dynoing my bike and making it run like how it does. Like, look, we're under $2,000 and it's just it's not that bad. It's not like it's just cruising along. The Memphis shade that I have on here as well, guys, is just a Road Warrior fairing from Memphis shade with a 13-inch windscreen, and this 13-inch windscreen is perfect for me. some people like to black out their screens and get it so you can't actually see through. But man, if I do that, I bloody won't be able to see over the freaking screen. At the moment it's perfect like that. The shade where it's solid black is just right behind my Kraus risers in my line of vision. So I use the whole windscreen to actually still see out of the bike. So I won't be doing it. And I still think it looks pretty dope with it a little bit clear. It's a little bit tinted, not much though. I might get a little bit darker tint, but it's all good, man. I use it to see, and I think it's pretty cool that you can still see the riser setup through the windshield. But hey, that's just my opinion. Alright, so yesterday I just had this thing on the dyno after doing a couple little things which I told you about. So some of those things was this Trask exhaust. Now look at that, that has changed color beautifully. So the dyno sort of changed the color a little bit. It looks pretty dope. It was originally like what the color of the heat shields here, and then sort of changed once we had it on the dyno and it got a bit of heat going through it. So as well as the Trask exhaust, I'd done this heavy breather intake, and if you guys can see in there, I also put the Screaming Eagle 55mm manifold, which just helps the airflow flow a little bit better. Oh, something I didn't have on here as well is the Memphis shade. So we just chucked the Memphis shade on about 2 weeks ago, and yeah, works an absolute treat. It's also a lot smoother, very smooth. I think that 2 into 2 with the crossover just down low made it a little bit choppy. I mean, it is a big lift cam anyway, so it's always going to be choppy, but I feel like with how it is now and the setup that's on it, runs very smooth.